Board of Commissioners meeting to order. First off, we'll start with the pledge. Tonight, the Pledge of Allegiance will be given to us by Miss Addison Alexander. So if you all stand and put your hands over your heart.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you'll stay standing, please. Commissioner Carl Rice will provide invocation tonight.
In prayer, Lord. Amen.
Moving on, we need roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Chair. Commissioner Leitner.
Here.
Commissioner Walls. Commissioner Rice.
Present.
Commissioner Duckham.
Here.
Commissioner Alexander.
Present.
Commissioner Mahoney. Palachek.
Here.
Commissioner Elwer.
Here.
Chairman Shotwell.
Here.
8 present.
Okay, next up, we will have our seasonal entertainment tonight with seasonal songs of Christmas by the Jackson Children's Choir. Welcome.
We would like to invite you to stand one more time and join us in this.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bomb bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
What a privilege.
We are the Corral Children's Choir. This is a community choir sponsored by the Jackson Corral. We have singers from all over Jackson County. We're singing songs of the season, and we're going to start with a Hanukkah song, Festival of Lights.
Hanukkah, Hanukkah, festival of lights. Hanukkah, Hanukkah, holiday delights. Candles burning brightly, one more lit each day. Our
arrangement of Winter Wonderland.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. A beautiful sight, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is the bluebird, here to stay is a new bird. He sings our song as we go along, walking in a winter wonderland. In the meadow we can build a snowman, then pretend that he is Parson Brown. He'll say, are you married? We'll say, no, man, but you can do the job when you're in town. Later on we'll conspire as we dream by the fire, to face unafraid the plans that we made, walking in a winter wonderland. We're gonna build a snowman, pretend that he's a clown, We're gonna build a snowman, but don't knock him down, don't knock him down. You better not, don't knock him down. When it snows in Finland, though your nose gets a chilling, we'll frolic and play the Eskimo way, walking in a winter wonderland. Walking in a winter wonderland. 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 Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Happy holidays.
Our audience is leaving. I thought we had a meeting. Thank you to the Jackson Children's Choir. At this time, I would entertain a motion for approval of the agenda.
So move.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Any questions or comments, items for removal or addition? Seeing or hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, duly carried. Awards and recognition. At this time, I would like to recognize outgoing representative of the 64th District, Earl Pulaski.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and as the corral leaves, I want to tell you how very proud I was of that group. Jackie Livesay is their director, and they sang this year at the Governor's Mansion for the legislative reception, and you can't imagine a prouder fellow than I when that time came. Mr. Chair and members of the Commission, it is my privilege to present a tribute tonight That tribute is to the one and only outgoing commissioner of the Jackson County Commission, Representative-elect Julie Alexander. And I'll read this to you. Let it be known that it's a pleasure and a privilege to join with the people she has served so well in commending Julie Alexander for her dedicated efforts as a member of the Jackson County Commission. She has capably served the people of the community for over 6 years in this office, beginning 2011 through 2016. We thank her for her effective leadership, hard work, and many contributions that will long help our community. Commissioner Alexander's leadership roles have included the county's education strategic priority, serving as chair of the Cradle to Career Network, as well as the county's Human Services Committee. She has served on additional county boards and committees to include South Central Michigan Works, the Consortium Board, Land Bank Authority, Parks and Recreation, Strategic Implementation Team, Street Naming and Address Review, CAA Board of Directors, Region 2 Planning Commission, and Board of Public Works. I frankly don't know when she had time to sleep. That's not in the tribute, by the way. Ability, commitment, and integrity have been reflected in all of Julie's endeavors throughout her years in Jackson. She has made many sacrifices on behalf of the community, willingly and unselfishly. She has attended years of meetings, spent much time listening to constituents, and worked cooperatively with other government officials. There are many factors that determine the quality of a community and its government. One of the most important is an exemplary corps of public officials. Julie has demonstrated that she knows the people of Jackson, has the courage necessary to make tough decisions, and understands the important role she plays in making Jackson a wonderful place to live, work, and to raise a family. In special tribute, therefore, this document is signed and dedicated to honor Julie Alexander for her outstanding service to the people of Jackson County. We also extend our best wishes for continued success to Julie as she's elected to the Michigan State House and will serve as our state representative. Signed by me and by State Senator Mike Shirkey. God bless you and best of wishes to you, Commissioner Alexander.
At this time, as your chairman, I would like to offer Resolution 12-16.34, honoring outgoing county commissioner for District 6, Julie Alexander. Whereas Julie Alexander held office in Jackson County Commissioner in District 5 for 2 years and has a newly realigned District 6 for 4 years consecutively. And whereas during her tenure as County Commissioner, Julie served on the county policy, the county affairs and agencies, standing committees, and was appointed chairman of Human Services Standing Committee in 2013 through 2016. Whereas Julie served, as Earl had listed, on South Central Michigan Works and many other important committees, standing and ad hoc and otherwise. For the county, she also worked very diligently as the Human Services Chairman to help us pass the millage for the Jackson County Medical Care Facility. Her diligent work on Math Makes a Difference initiative to promote math within the county in a collaborative manner. And whereas over her term as a commissioner, Julie gave of her time, talent, and for the betterment of Jackson County, particularly the residents of Liberty, Hanover, Pulaski, Concord, Columbia, and Spring Arbor Townships. Whereas Jackson County community has benefited from her service as a county commissioner, and whereas Julie was a duly elected representative of the 64th District and won this election in November 2016, necessitating that she no longer represent us as a county commissioner. Now therefore be it resolved that Jackson County Board of Commissioners express their sincere appreciation for Julie Alexander's contributions and wishes in her much success in her new position as our state representative in the 64th District. Entertain a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion by Commissioner Leitner, supported by Commissioner Rice. Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Commissioner Leitner?
Yes.
Commissioner Rice?
Yes.
Commissioner Duckham?
Yes.
Commissioner Alexander?
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney? Yes. Commissioner Placzek?
Yes.
Commissioner Elwell?
Yes.
Chairman Shotwell?
Yes, may the record show a unanimous vote of 8-0. Again, thank you, Julie. We have no communications or petitions to come before the board. Seeing nor hearing none, no special orders or public hearings. Seeing nor hearing none, we've arrived at public comment. You have the opportunity for public comment of 5 minutes. You may only address the board once under public comment, and you may not yield your time to others. The board members will not debate nor give answers. If you do have questions, you may speak to the deputy administrator sitting over here, and she will get you answers eventually, hopefully within the next 7 to 14 days. I'm going to take this opportunity to be the first one to speak under public comment because Commissioner Alexander is leaving us. I want to thank you, Julie, for joining us here. I remember a conversation we had, and you were like, well, it would be an interesting adventure, and it became one. You have been a pleasure to work with. While we have not agreed on everything, we have worked to a solution, and those solutions have provided leadership and example for this community. And if you take that skill set with you to Lansing, I know the next 6 years, there will be a person there who will lead, follow, or out of your way. I thank you again, Julie, for all your hard work.
I would just point out that we have 7, 8 chairs over here if you'd like to step over this way.
Hi, my name's Tom Davis. Yikes. I'm applying for the airport board. I was unable to make the affairs committee meeting previous Monday. I wanted to introduce myself. I was previously on the airport board for several years, and currently I'm on the advisory council, and would like to ask for your support today. Thank you. And congratulations, Julie.
Good evening. My name is Jan Seitz, and I'm here this evening to ask for your support to be again be on the Parks Commission. As a Parks Commissioner, I've served the past several years, and I can't tell you how excited I am about the direction the county parks is going. I hope you too have been able to see that in some of the changes that have been taking place and the current leadership we have. It would be a real pleasure for me to continue to serve on the Parks Commission board with your support. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tracy Johnson, and I would like to address the board and the commissioners to take in consideration on the agenda tonight for the compensation study wages for the non-union employees, to please take in consideration that the union employees were left out of the motions, and we're not sure why. Maybe we missed something, but when the wage studies were being addressed and introduced, it was given to everyone that they would go into effect, and here we are, the non-union and other department heads are going to receive raises, but the union people are not going to receive raises, and we all are county employees, and we should all be treated equally and receive the wages that has been presented through the motions.
Any other public comment? Any other public comment? Public comment is now closed. There are no special meetings of standing committees this evening. At this time, I entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the November 15th, 2016 meeting. We We have a motion and support. Any questions, comments, or corrections? Seeing nor hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. We've arrived at the consent agenda. Entertain a motion for consent agenda?
Support.
We have a motion and support. Any items for removal for further discussion? Seeing nor hearing none, Madam Clerk, could you post the vote?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Madam Clerk, could you please post the vote?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
You voted yes. 8-0. The consent agenda is passed 8-0. At this time, we've arrived at the Standing Committee for Affairs and Agencies, chaired by Commissioner David Elwell. Commissioner Elwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a number of appointments for tonight. First up is the Airport Board. We have one person that applied, and that was a recommendation from committee, being Tom Davis.
Any nominations from the floor? Seeing nor hearing none, all in favor of Tom Davis, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Duly carried. Commissioner Elwell?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If there are no objections, the next group of appointments are the Department on Aging Advisory Council. There are 7 seats. We only have 7 applicants, and if there's no objection or no nominations from the floor, I would nominate the slate recommended from committee as printed.
And that's slate B, Jeannie Cubish, Diane Derby, Sharon Bess, Barbara McClure, Howard Griffiths, Tina Gross, and Michael Buchart.
I couldn't have said it better.
Any other nominations from the floor? Seeing nor hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? Duly carried. Commissioner Elwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Next is the District Library. The recommendation from committee is Heather Albee Scott.
Any nominations from the floor? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Commissioner Elwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Next is the Fair Board. The recommendation from committee is James Vitito.
Any nominations from the floor? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Duly carried. Commissioner Elwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Hospital Finance Authority, we moved to January to get clarification, which brings us to Parks. There's 2 seats. The first is recommended from committee, Joseph Beeman.
Any nominations from the floor? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Commissioner Elwell.
The next slot on the Parks is recommendation from committee is Jan Seats.
Any nominations from the floor? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? Duly carried. Commissioner Elwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Next up is the Jackson County Planning Commission. There are 3 seats with 2 applicants. The first is an agricultural representative, and the recommendation from committee is James Vitito.
Any nominations from the floor? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Commissioner Elwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Next is also the Planning Commission, the industrial economical representative, and the applicant recommendation from committee is Amy Torres.
Is there any nominations from the floor? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? Commissioner Elwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Next is the Region 2 Planning Commission. The applicant and recommendation from committee is Lori Stack.
Any nominations from the floor? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? Duly carried. Commissioner Elwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Next is the Land Bank Authority 1 construction representative. Applicant is, and recommendation from committee is Kevin Cunningham.
Any nominations from the floor? Seeing or hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Duly carried. Commissioner Elwell.
Lastly is the Jackson Traffic Safety Program, one engineering representative. Recommendation from committee is Angela Klein.
Any nominations from the floor? Seeing nor hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Duly carried. Commissioner Elwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Next up is the Administrator Controller, the 800 radio upgrade. Mike, did you want to make any comments on it? I think we've had the presentation several times.
Yeah, I'll just make
Everybody should be clear on it, and there's been a number of modifications to the wording of it. So, Mike, the floor is yours.
I'll just make a few comments, benefit of the audience in particular. We started this process in September of 15, which is, by most people's standards, a long time ago, but by government standards, not so long. We go pretty slow, especially on significant projects like this. This is an 800 megahertz radio system that deals specifically with our public safety in the county of Jackson. It allows us to tie into the state police system, which covers, frankly, the whole state, and thus far about 75% of the state municipalities have already joined this system. So we're a little late coming to the party. Frankly, the VHS system we've had for a while has served us well, but yet, given that it's older technology, it's time. And part of the reason it's time is because it's going to require millions to upgrade that old system and to maintain the existing system. And we felt that we need to take a long, hard look at that system before we invest that kind of money into what is otherwise antiquated technology. So we took a long, hard look at the 800 system. We had lots of experts come in and talk to us about it, just to determine whether it's the technology of the future before we invest millions of your hard-earned tax dollars. With that said, from that committee, once we decided that yes, it is the future and it is the direction that the county should pursue, we created another committee in which we had the sheriff, undersheriff, some local township police chiefs, some local township fire chiefs, because it involves everyone in the county when it comes to public safety. And with that, we have come to a conclusion that we should make a purchase with Motorola. We have an agreement before the board tonight. As Commissioner Elwell indicated, we've discussed this at 3 or 4 different meetings with the county commissioners. They were well informed on it. We have basically a 163-page agreement that's online, available for anyone and all to look at. It talks about the dollars, talks about the technology and those sort of things in there. And what we're looking for tonight is the board to approve a $7.3 million purchase of this 800 megahertz radio system that'll include 3 towers, or potentially 3 towers. We hope to hopefully potentially bring that cost down by co-locating on some existing towers, but yet at the same time we need to prepare for the worst case scenario, and that is where we would need to literally buy and build 3 towers ourselves. And that's what this purchase agreement allows for. With that said, we're looking for a motion. Dave?
Commissioner Elwell?
Yeah, I'd like to make just a couple of comments, if I could. I think one of the important aspects of this project is the fact that right now, as county taxpayers, we're paying for 2 radio systems. We're paying for our own system, and we're also paying as state residents with our state tax dollars for the state 800 system. This gets rid of us paying for that duplicate service. Secondly, for me, with 37 years in law enforcement, I recognize the safety issue that this will correct. And thirdly, the interoperability that we'll have with other state agencies and many others throughout the county, including the ambulance service. So with that said, I'd like to make the motion to approve the 800 radio system purchase and authorize the signing of the lease agreement with Motorola.
We have a motion and support. Any comments? Seeing or hearing none, Madam Clerk, could you post the vote, please? Phil? Oh, there you go. Vote. Motion passed unanimously. Commissioner Elwell?
Thank you for that vote, and that's all I have to report.
Standing Committee Human Services, chaired by outgoing Commissioner Julie Alexander. Commissioner Alexander?
Mr. Chair, Human Services has no business to bring before the board this evening, but thank you for the honor of serving as the Human Services Chair for the last 4 years. It's been definitely a growing experience, and I thank you for that opportunity.
Thank you also. We've arrived at Standing Committee Personnel and Finance. Commissioner, chaired by Vice Chair Commissioner Duckham. Commissioner Duckham?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have two items tonight. One would be the Administrator Controller Compensation Study for elected official salaries. Is it proper to offer a motion right now?
Certainly.
I'd like to offer the motion that we approve the full salary increases and necessary budget adjustments for all the administrative elected officials as outlined in the 2015 classification compensation study and make that effective January 1st of 2017.
Is there a second?
Support.
We have a support. Commissioner Elwell?
I'd like to offer an amendment to the motion to also follow one of the options that was laid out in the compensation study and spread those raises over 4 years, as again indicated as an option indicated in the wage study.
Is there support for the amendment? We have support. Voting on the amendment at this time. The amendment is to spread the adjustment over 4 years. At this time, you'll be voting for the amendment to spread the payment over 4 years. Correct, Commissioner Elwell?
Correct.
Daniel supported it. Okay. No, you have to tell me.
No. Okay.
Okay. The amendment is defeated. We're now to the original motion made by Commissioner Duckham to implement the wage study as presented by the Administrator's Office. We have support. Any further discussion? Seeing or hearing none, Madam Clerk, could you post the vote?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Motion passed unanimously. Commissioner Duckham.
Business tonight, Mr. Chair, is the Administrator Controller Compensation Study for non-union employees. I'd like to make a motion that we provide the funding and do this also, the necessary funding and do this also January 1st of 2017.
I'm looking for support.
Is that the right thing?
Did elected officials first?
Mr. Chairman, that's on the consent agenda.
I understand that. I was going to clarify that with Phil.
I'm operating without.
Phil had a technology issue.
Phil's computer's not working here, Phil. Use mine.
I'd like to make a motion, we approve the salary increase and necessary budget adjustments for county commissioners as described in the 2015 classification compensation study. And that would also be effective January 1st, 2017.
Looking for support. We have support. Any comments? Commissioner Rice.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What are you laughing about? Mr. Chairman, in this particular matter involving us commissioners, I'd just like to make it clear that in no way am I saying that we as commissioners don't deserve or we don't earn what we receive. And quite frankly, most people would tell you what we receive is not much. But the fact is, from day one, when I first started knocking on doors in 2010, at the same time as Commissioner Alexander did, actually, I told people that, from my perspective, I would not be voting for a raise for myself. This is no reflection on any other commissioner. That's just something that I commented on way back then, and I just can't change my word. So I'll be voting no on this, not because we are not because we don't work hard, and not because we don't deserve this. I just, from my standpoint, I've just made it clear to people I represent that this is something I wouldn't do at any point, and here we are now. Matter of fact, I never even thought we'd get to this point, but that's the only reason I'm going to vote no. Thank you.
Any other commissioner comments? Commissioner Elwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll be voting no as well, and I just want to say, not as much in depth as Commissioner Rice, but it's just my no vote is not a reflection on the hard work of all the commissioners here. I appreciate how hard everybody works, but I just don't believe it's appropriate, and I'll be voting no. Thank you.
Any other commissioner comments? Madam Clerk, could you post the vote?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Maybe 6 years, 2 days. What did you vote yes the first time? 6-2. Motion carried 6-2. Because the chair helped him correct it. Commissioner Duckham.
That concludes our business tonight, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much.
Any unfinished business? Hearing none, we took advantage at the beginning of the meeting for those who might have to have left to honor Commissioner Alexander. We'll use this time under new business. If there's a commissioner who would like to comment, you're free to at this time. Commissioner Leitner.
I just want to say what a pleasure and privilege it's been to not only have Commissioner Julie Alexander as my friend, but somebody I could look up to that would mentor me and, help, I guess, frame me in my position as a District 1 Commissioner. Julie her and her husband were the first people that we even told that I was going to run for office when people were looking for somebody to fill District 1. And I think they were a little hesitant at first, but I must have grew on them. But anyways, the support that I've had from her throughout the last 4 years has been amazing. Obviously, we haven't always agreed on things, and we've, had to talk them out, yell them out sometimes. And that's a good thing. I think that's definitely a good thing. And I just want to say that I appreciate you and all that you've done for us as a county, me as a person, and me as a professional in the position that I'm in right now as well. And I thank you, and I will miss you a lot.
Thank Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Oh, wow. You know, back in 2010, I started campaigning, and I really didn't know much about campaigning. Matter of fact, never went and got a list of people to knock on their door, who votes, who didn't vote. I just started knocking on every door there was. And during that process in 2010, and some people will understand what I'm about to say, I pretty much figured that I must have been the hardest working person ever to run for office, because when you knock on every door in June and July, it's a lot of work. But I come to find out there was somebody else who also was running, and that person is now Commissioner Alexander. I guess at this point she's not Commissioner Alexander because we have her resignation. But the point is, she too was running in 2010, first time running, just as myself. And I have come to find out over the years that I was wrong. She worked just as darn hard as me, easily. And the reason that she is going to be our state representative is because she outworked everybody, easily. And so, to me, what I am so proud of is the fact that she continued to work hard, even though she could have coasted a little bit. She didn't coast. Once she got elected commissioner, she could have coasted. She didn't. She continued to work hard. Her and I went to every department and agency you can think of in Jackson County. We didn't have to do that, but we did. We introduced ourselves, and we went into agencies and departments. We got to see their operations. We worked extremely hard, going what I would say above and beyond. And she has continued to do that, and I know she'll continue to do that in Lansing. That's why, quite frankly, I supported her and endorsed her a year before she even announced. And I just want to say that she is truly a friend and will always be a friend, and I expect her to still bring me my chocolates in December. Thank you.
Vice Chairman Duckham.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. After hearing the first two people talk, they covered it very well. I just want to tell Julie that proud to have her as a friend. It was a pleasure to see her come here, learn, grow, and get to the position she is now, and I just wish her the best of luck. And I'm proud to call her a friend. Thank you, Matt.
Commissioner Mahoney.
Well, after 2 years of sitting here, I definitely want to say thank you. The first conversation that Julie and I had is I sat here and we introduced each other, and I said, well, I hope you're ready because I'm new and I don't know anything and I got a lot of questions. And she said, I'm absolutely ready. I used to be a teacher, so you're in luck. John, I hope you're prepared because I'm going to lean this way and ask all my questions because I know the next guy sitting here is going to be new. I definitely would concur with what's been said. You are a very hard worker. I am excited to be able to say that I can text the state representative and ask him a question, although I know Earl's been there this whole time too because you helped me immensely, so I want to say thank you for your service as well. I agree that I definitely need the chocolates because my daughter thought that was her birthday present from me. So.
Commissioner Placzek.
Yes, retired Commissioner Alexander. I think that you were the first phone call that I received from any commissioner when I was elected 4 years ago, and I found that to be very helpful. You led me the first few months to understand the difference between the city government and the county government, and we've worked together on a number of committees together, and you will be missed. I'm going to miss you tremendously. I will miss the chocolates too. Carl stole my joke on that because I look forward to those every year. So maybe you'll come back just to visit in December, and stop by sometime when you're in town. You've got an open door here.
Chairman of Agencies and Affairs, Commissioner David Elwell.
Julie, I think I'm going to take the sage advice that you know of from Commissioner Vitito. if somebody's already said it once, you don't need to repeat it. So I think it's been spoken very well. Just my thanks to you for what you've done and what we expect of you in the future.
Would you like to comment? Yep, sure.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. First of all, what warms my heart the most are looking out amongst you. I'm used to looking at my colleagues here, and what you need to know, dear friends up here, is that the individuals that helped me make the chocolate are out there in that audience. My dear friends, my family are out there in the audience, and that's what warms my heart. This room is filled with all sorts of people. There are my entire family, all 4 children, a granddaughter, my parents, my devoted husband, my brother, my dear friends. And I am so grateful to each and every one of you, just as I am those of us sitting up here. There are many of you here that have mentored me. There are many of you up here and out there that have frustrated me. There are many out there that have challenged me. Many of you out there have knocked doors with me and have worked with me and will continue working with me in Lansing and be the individuals that I call when I have a question. Please answer my phone call and make me look good in Lansing. That is what I ask of you. It has been my honor and privilege to serve. But as we all know, it is not acceptable to serve in 2 elected positions at one time. So, Mr. Chair, at the time of 5:59 p.m., please accept my resignation from the Jackson County Board of Commission.
At this time, it is with deep regret that we accept the resignation of current Commissioner, soon-to-be retired, Julie Alexander. We have a motion and support to accept. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Commissioner Alexander. All set? We've arrived at Commissioner comments. We've ended another 2-year stretch. No, I'm sorry, public comment. I apologize. This is your opportunity for 3 minutes. The same rules apply as the first time round. You may not yield, and the board members will not debate nor answer questions at this time. It's your opportunity to speak. Any public comment? Any public comment? Public comment is now closed. We've now arrived at commissioner comments. Any commissioner comments? Commissioner Palachuk.
I do not want the evening to go by without recognizing Earl and the fact that he's finishing his term this month too. So if we could give him a round of applause for all the hard work he's done.
Any other commissioner comments? Commissioner Leitner.
Thank you, Earl, as well. I'll piggyback on John. But also, on a different note, I want to announce that Beer Fest tickets are on sale for our Beer Fest at the Jackson County Fair right now. So you can get your tickets online or at the Fair box office. There's a couple extra new things this year, like a VIP beer ticket where you can get a couple extra tokens and get in an hour early. So that is also on the price list if people are interested in that. Other than that, I wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Carl?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, I don't know if I can beat the Beer Fest, but I can say that I just want to say this. I feel really proud of this whole commission, and that includes our representative-elect Julie Alexander, who was part of the commission at the time. This compensation study that was done, and a lot of work went into it. You'd be amazed. You should take a look at it. I think about the only one that read every word was Commissioner Elwell. It's like about, I don't know, 50,000 words or something. But the point is that this was a huge study, and this study touched everything you can think of. And all this was is to make sure that our employees could get as close to the midpoint in salaries as possible. Because just like any other employees, they're hard workers and they've earned this. And I can say to my satisfaction, and again, I'm very proud that everyone here, our administrator, everybody involved, made it happen for every elected official, every department head, every non-union employee. We had somebody come up here and talk about union employees. Union employees will have the compensation study as part of their bargaining as well. So I just want to say that, again, I'm just very thankful for that. Thank you.
Everything.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
I would also like to echo my thanks to Representative Pileski. Even this morning, he assisted me as a resident. I thank him for that. I'd just like to wish everybody in the room a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And thanks for being here to participate. Thank you.
Any other commissioners? Commissioner Mahoney.
Just want to say thank you to all the commissioners and administrator and deputy administrator and all the staff here for making this 2 years such a breeze and pleasure to work with everybody.